In this video, I'm going to show you how to make epoxy resin pens. They are fun to make, so let's get started. There are quite a few designs that we can do on pens, but in this tutorial I'm going to focus on making glitter pens with tiger print, marble, a wood grain one, a pencil one, and also a beachy theme one. As always, I'll link the materials that I used in the description, but the things you're going to need are Paper Mate Ink Joy gel pens, 1/4 inch thick wood dowels, some kind of tumbler spinner. I'm using a spinet, and I purchased a PVC pipe from the hardware store and just stuck on these pen holders. The wooden sticks fit perfectly in them. Good quality glitters in the colour of your choice. I find that a fine glitter works better than a chunky glitter. Epoxy resin, and the one that I'm using is 2-part resin. A nail sander or some sandpaper. Some type of adhesive to stick the glitter on. You can use the epoxy, but I'm going to use bright tone because it dries very quickly. Some resin resist tape. And lastly, don't forget to wear a respirator mask and also gloves when using resin or sanding resin. In this video, I'm going to make multiple pens at the same time. There is quite a lot to go through, and what I decided to do is edit this video, and if there is a pen design that you like, I will leave a link in the description to the detailed step-by-step tutorial of that specific design, including how I created the vinyl decals. But in this video, I will just show you the general steps. Remove the insides of the pens and pop them into a Ziploc bag so you don't lose any parts. Next, take your pliers or just use your fingers and twist the clip off the pen. It comes off pretty easily. You can see that there is a little raised part remaining on the shaft of the pen, so I get the sanding tool and just sand that part down. Then wipe away the dust using a wet cloth or baby wipes. I then am going to take a piece of resin resist tape and put it around the dowel rod, making sure that the end of the pen will fit about halfway over the tape. This will allow any extra resin to go onto the tape but not cure on the stick, which would be impossible to get off. I took them outside and spray painted them a base colour. I didn't spray paint 2 of them though, and I'll let you know why in a minute. So next I use bright tone as the first layer to help stick the glitter to. You could use Mod Podge or even epoxy, but I like to use bright tone as it only takes about 3 to 4 hours for it to fully dry on these pens. I like to use my pointer finger and start in the middle, pushing the bright tone to the edge. You don't want to start at the end and then push into the middle because you do not want the bright tone or epoxy inside the shaft of the pen. It will make it really difficult to put the pen back together again later. I have a good thin coat of bright tone over my pen, and I'm going to sprinkle a healthy amount of glitter. This design is going to have 2 glitter colors, so you will need to mix the 2 colors together to create an ombre effect. How you can do that is get good coverage towards the end of the pen and then tilt it slightly up so less glitter is caught in the center. Then I go ahead and do the same with the gold glitter. I do this for all the remaining pens, and after I glitter them, I put them on the spinner to start drying. For this pencil pen, I section off the pen with tape and work on adding the white glitter first, and then the gold glitter, and then lastly the pink. Now that all the pens are glittered, they just dry on the spinner for a couple of hours. This is 2-part epoxy, and I go ahead and mix them up. How much you'll need depends on how many pens you are doing. I am mixing up 10 ml of part A and 10 ml of part B. Then I put my first coat of epoxy over the pens. I like to start with the lighter colours first because some of the darker glitters can transfer to the lighter colours. At this point, I just want to mention that I epoxy the 2 pens that I did not spray with the base coat. That is because I plan to use alcohol inks on these and needed a smooth epoxy surface to start on with no bumps from the pen that are showing through. I then continue with the remaining pens and let them spin dry for 8 hours. After 8 hours or so, I remove the 2 pens that only had epoxy on them and take them out to spray paint. After letting them dry for 20 minutes, I then get a paintbrush and start to brush on my chosen alcohol inks. I like to use Panada Burro Brown and Havana Brown. I like to alternate between the 2 colours and also add layers to different sections, creating a wood grain effect. I let it dry for 1 hour and then go over it with a thin layer of epoxy. For this gorgeous marble pen, I get some plastic wrap and drop down some Blanco white alcohol ink. I then go in with some shadow grey and start to roll my pen through the ink. I use a silicone brush and start dabbing Panada brass in longish kind of strokes. Some lines are thin and others are thicker. I then roll the pen through the ink once more before adding more brush strokes. I let this dry for an hour before adding a layer of epoxy. Once all the pens are fully cured, I then sand them down to make them smooth. Be careful when doing this though, you don't want to sand down too much. So now I go through and cut out all the names and designs in permanent vinyl. For For the detailed tutorial on how I created these decals, I will leave a link to the individual videos in the description. I cut the names to be 1/2 inch tall by 4 inches long, and that seems to be a good size. I will leave a link to all the fonts I used in the description. Once the decals are nice and secure, I pull the transfer tape off. I now go ahead and add my final layer of epoxy. I also go over them with a lighter to pop any air bubbles and leave them on for 12 hours to fully cure. Now I just go through and put the pens back together. And there we go, completed pens. They're so gorgeous, and as you can see, super easy to make. These make great gifts for any gender, and if you sell them, they are great sellers, so try it out yourself. I will list all the materials I use in the description, including the links to the individual pen tutorials and SVG files I created for these pens. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to see more videos just like this, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.